So talking about my McLane and where my frustration lies, I did talk about this before, and I'm just going to point it out again here. When I got my digital height cut height meter or adjuster here, or my tool that lets me know how high I'm cutting, I found out some really important things. This bed knife is not oriented like I thought it was, and like McLane told me it was. And the height I was measuring it to cut at wasn't the height I was doing it. And I was doing this all based on what McLane told me. Because when I got this mower, I had no clue how to use it, how to adjust it, how to do anything on it. And at the time I got it, I searched YouTube for videos. I couldn't find any videos. And that was kind of what made me start this channel, was just information on the McLane. So when I got this, I was like, what's going on here? This is something different. And look at the bed knife. It's cutting up here. This is dragging on my lawn. And this bed knife thickness is more than, it's probably 3 millimeters, but even still, if you have it set all the way to the ground to cut, it drags. And that's what's causing a lot of my problems in my putting green right now, because when I leveled it and all that kind of stuff, I wanted to cut it lower. So I started setting it lower, but I also got a new bed knife. And I started having this problem where it was scalping my lawn. And I was like, what's going on? I've never had this problem before. So I stopped mowing it lower and I put it back to where I normally mowed it and adjusted it to, which I found out was 5 millimeters. But that's a whole different story. And that's just based on what McLane told me when I was adjusting how to adjust and how I determine the height. Anyways, even when I was mowing it at my normal height I was using before I got the new bed knife, I was having this problem. And it was driving me nuts.
So when I put this bed knife on, it was a new one, and it was after I had dethatched in June. And I was having no problems with the bed knife dragging before at the cutting height I was using. And I'm using the same cutting height after, and it was really frustrating because it was dragging. So I realized that the bed knife was actually thicker than the other bed knife. So I got my grinder out and I grinded this down. And I'm using a straight edge here just to check and make sure I'm grinding it evenly and level. And what I ended up doing was I just, ground the bend in the, or the thickness at the blade here. I just ground it down to be more flat as it goes back. And I managed to grind enough off to make it so that it actually, fixed the problem. I got my digital height cut gauge out. I adjusted the height to exactly 2 millimeters. I put it back on the putting green, and it cut great. It was perfect. It wasn't dragging. I wasn't getting any dragging on the putting green. Now, I was getting scalping because this is the lowest I've ever done. So now I'm just trying to train my putting green to maintain this 2 millimeter height. Thanks for watching.